So it finished goalless, as you probably know. I'm here with Dave Freezer to catch up on your thoughts, Dave, after a second goalless draw. What do you make of all that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as bad as Burton. That's probably the starting point, isn't it? That they did play quite well. They probably deserved to win. It wasn't a superb performance by any stretch of the imagination. Daniel Farker a bit frustrated after the game, saying that he thinks Cameron Jerome's goal in the first half that was disallowed for offside should have stood. Said he'd seen it back on TV. I mean, from where I was sat in the press box, it looked offside, but he's clearly seen it back and felt it should have stood. So they can probably feel a little bit hard done by, but that's 9 games unbeaten for Bristol City now, isn't it? So a point against them's a pretty decent result, really.
Yeah, they're an interesting side, Bristol City, because I think they've got strength. They could go long, they could mix it up as well. So there's a lot going on with them. Had Daniel Farker seen a replay from the analysts or something like that, different to the TV replay, is what I was wondering.
He just said from the TV, so yeah, he's obviously seen it back, and that was before he came in with the print boys. So, but yeah, Bristol, Adam Flint and Nathan Baker at the back, they're two big lads, aren't they? And they did cause a bit of chaos in the Norwich box at times, but otherwise they really dominated Cameron Jerome today. That was a tough shift for him, and I think both teams will probably come away from that. Although, like you say, it is 2 0-0s in a row following the Burton one earlier this month, which is disappointing because the next Carrow Road game is not until middle of October, so it's quite a while to wait for another goal, isn't it? But I think both teams walk away reasonably satisfied.
Is it as straightforward as saying that Norwich have concentrated so much on their defending that now they're a little bit stodgy going forward, because they haven't really been free flowing up front for most of the season? I mean,
Nelson Oliveira's absence coming at the same time hasn't helped at all, obviously, has it? I mean, Cam didn't really get a great deal of chances. I mean, he did turn that one that was disallowed into the goal. It was a nice sort of chipped cross into the box from Harrison Reed, so that was unfortunate for him because he would have needed that sort of confidence boost. He's probably going to have to face another tough shift at Middlesbrough on Tuesday night now, isn't he? So perhaps, I mean, Josh Murphy's not really firing, as he had another match where things just weren't quite coming off for him. Marley Watkins, certainly first half, didn't really look at it out wide. Will Scott wasn't brilliant when he came on either, but he did offer a bit more of a threat. He was direct and tried to get at them, but Bristol looked very drilled. They were stubborn. So even Wes, when he came on, to be honest, it didn't look like he was going to unlock things. So I think, Mr. Bailey, you did say midway through the first half, this has got 0-0 written all over it. So I think it was one of those games, wasn't it?
I think they just all cancelled each other out in the end. A little injury for Wes. I don't know what Daniel Farker said on it, but it sounds like Wes is going to have a little precautionary scan on his knee tomorrow.
Yeah, he said there was a bit of pain in his knees, but initially after the game, Wes had said that he was okay. It was just sort of a bang. Mario Vrancic limped off as well. He said basically he got a knock in the first half,
which I think was from that tackle. It was a sort of a block tackle in the area from a slightly late ball. That was quite early on, actually. Yeah,
and he said he played for about 30 minutes basically without being able to move fully. So he hopefully nothing major, but again, that's something they're going to have to assess ahead of a game up at Middlesbrough on Tuesday and a quick turnaround.
Yeah, which is going to be it's obviously going to be a tough game, isn't it? And I guess we'll learn a bit more from them. I don't know if they're maybe enjoying playing away from home a little bit more at the moment, but
possibly. I mean, Yannick Wildscott seems to be, doesn't he? He seems to be a bit of a threat away from home. It would be lovely to have Oliveira on the bench maybe at Middlesbrough if possible, and if he is going to be in that Portugal squad, he probably needs to show that he's fit by then, rather than just the Reading game. That would certainly be helpful if you could have him on the bench just for 15 minutes just to go and give it a go, but equally you don't want to risk this groin problem, do you? Because it's troubled him for a little while now. So otherwise I think I'd rather see Marley Watkins through the middle, to be honest. I mean, out wide he was nowhere near as effective as he was at Brentford on Tuesday, was he? So I think I'd perhaps look at having Wildscott back. He played for Borough, didn't he? So I guess he'd be up for that one. Maybe him out on the right and Watkins either in the 10 role if Vrancic and Wes have got a bit of a blow, or on the bench to sort of make that impact and relieve Jerome, because that's going to be a tough night for him.
It is indeed. I mean, I thought it was interesting that Harrison Reed played so that Norwich would have a little bit more dynamism going forward. I mean, it didn't quite work out like that, but it was nice thinking anyway, at least.
Well, I asked Daniel about that, and he said, yeah, it's straightforward as that. We've got 2 tough away games next week. I wanted to keep Alex Tatey for that. I wanted to take a few more risks with the balls going forward, and he thought that Harrison Reed was the better option for that. And yeah, I mean, you could see him and Tribal linked up quite nicely at times, didn't they? I thought Tom Tribal was good again. It's funny how someone can so quickly become pretty much the first name on the team sheet. I mean, obviously Closer and Zimmerman are up there at the moment. Angus Gunn, 4 clean sheets. So there are positives, despite it being another 0-0 draw. It's not like Daniel Farker was sat there down in the dumps and upset with things. There's enough positive to keep everyone going. It's just would have been nice to get a goal.
Yeah, I don't know if all fans feel that, but I agree with you, just for the record. I wonder if Josh Murphy might get a little break maybe coming up this week. Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much. We'll see what we get at Borough, won't we?
We certainly will. It's going to be a long journey.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.